Hello everybody, how are you all doing today? This is Karthik Poovanam. I'm a leadership coach and author. How are you? Lot of middle class families I notice, they are so bothered about what their neighbors are thinking about. They have a daughter who is over 30 years old and she's not married. The front door auntie comes and she says something, or the neighboring auntie comes and says something, then she is going to make life miserable for her daughter. First of all, why are you so bothered about what your neighbors are thinking about you? Are your neighbors going to give you something? Are your neighbors going to take care of you when you are not financially in a sound position? Are they going to give you financial security? Have they been giving you food? Have they been giving you water? Are they giving you oxygen? What is the contribution of your neighbors in your life? Just think about it for a moment. For a moment, just close your eyes and think of all your neighbors and what kind of a contribution they have made. See, the moment I'm talking about neighbors, the winds are coming at its full speed. This is the impact of the neighbors actually. So think for a moment, what is their contribution in your life? Absolutely nothing. They'll simply fall. Have you seen the camera just falling just now? It was not intentional, mind you. It just happened. So this is what is happening to people. Unnecessarily, we are so bothered about what neighbors think. They mean nothing. Let me tell you. Ask yourself, what do you feel like? In any situation, ask yourself, how do you feel like? But instead, you're too bothered about what others think. This is a result of poor training. Yes, right from our childhood, we are being under training and deep hypnosis. This hypnotic influence of trying to care so much about our neighbors has led to enormous self-destruction in many possible ways. And it's only growing at a rampant pace. Just like as the camera was falling a little distance, that kept it at a little balance. That's all that's required. You don't have to be too bothered about what your neighbors are thinking, because at the end of the day, let me be very honest with you and let me share one deep secret with you. I know you know this, but let me reconfirm this with you. Your neighbors are very, very jealous whenever good things happen in your life. And you are also very, very jealous when good things happen to your neighbor's life. Suppose if your neighbors have bought a new car and you've gone to their home, eaten the sweet, congratulated them, came back. Do a serious introspection. How did you feel? When you saw that Facebook post where your neighbors have gone to some foreign country and you've never been able to go there, ask yourself, how did you feel? Did you not feel jealous? As the same reflection that you get with your neighbors also, they're going to feel the same when you do that. So you're essentially feeling bad about those people who are jealous of your growth. Let me be very honest with you. In reality, all that you're looking for is time pass and gossip with neighbors. When you know how to engage your time constructively, then you will only be connected to your loved one. You will not be connected to this gossip. These gossips will be eliminated from your life. You need to eliminate this gossip completely from your life. Only when you eliminate these gossips completely from your life will you know your life is happening the way you want it to happen. Otherwise, every now and then your neighbors will determine what's happening to you. So stop being bothered by what your neighbors are thinking about you. I can give you any number of examples about the people who have been coming to my workshops and they've been complaining that we feel very, very bad. And whenever we go deep, especially to the reasons, we find out that they say that the reason is that my husband is not working. Or then the husband and wife says that we have a daughter, she's over 25 years old, some daughters are 30 years old and they're not still married. Then I go further deep. When did it all happen? And during the deep self-introspective, immersive session, they come to a realization that they actually started feeling bad the moment they started hearing to their neighbors. Now this is disastrous. The way people are programmed to give more and more importance to neighbors and give so much of significance to those neighbors who are themselves jealous of your own growth. It's a very tragic family of affairs. This tragic family of affairs has to be stopped immediately. Otherwise, your children will not like to be with you. Already they're not liking to be with you. A lot of independent girls, they don't want to be with their parents. I can see that already happening in a great way. And this will happen even in a more powerful way. You need to be conscious when you are so bothered of your neighbors and you complain to your children. Understand your children have access to sometimes sensible people. And when sensibility gets inside them, or they become sensible by right kind of questioning, they will come to an understanding that my parents are not bothered because of my bad feelings, but rather they are more bothered about what the neighbors think. Like for example, I'll give you this example. Okay. It happened. It's a real-time example I'm giving. There's a family I know, and their daughter was into smoking, drinking, abusive relationships. And then his father, when he brings his daughter to me, he says to me in front of the daughter that she started posting about her relationships in the social media profiles. What will the neighbors think? I immediately said to him, "Excuse me, sir. So you have no problem with her abusive affairs. You say, and even in front of you, the girl, your daughter has said that these relationships have been terrible. You have no problem with it. Your problem is that your neighbors are going to feel bad. So you have no concern for the enormous torture that your daughter has gone through in these abusive relationships." This gave a deep, diving, immersive, claritative, invocative awakening of a certain thought process in this gentleman. And he began to reflect, what is it that he has been going through all this while? I instantly looked into this daughter's eyes and he said, "I'm sorry." He was intelligent father. Many fathers are fools. They think what they're thinking is right. We are a part of the society, so we should care for the society. To hell with the society, I say. When you know that the society is not going to stand with you, you have grown your daughter all by yourself. You have stood in the line and bought the admission fees. That is supposed to be your duty anyway, because you have brought this daughter into this planet. Now what you are supposed to do is supply your daughter with the right kind of information. If you are in a middle class family, and especially if you have a daughter, I have 3 important suggestions quickly to make for you, which will enable you in a very powerful way. Get ready. Take a pen and paper, because otherwise you might forget this. Note down these points. First thing, as your daughter is growing up, let's say today 8th class, 9th class, 10th class, or in fact from the 5th class, you can start talking about these things to your daughter. Talk to her about the kind of music which is happening. Talk to her what all kinds of musics are happening. Abusive musics where woman is completely objectified. Tell your daughter, this, does it make you feel pleasant? If there are men with bottles in their hands who are completely drunk, looking at your body with total lust, would you like it? And you know your daughter will always say no. No sensible daughter will say yes to this. And then tell that by listening to this kind of music, what is the kind of impressions you are creating in the mind. Second, tell your daughter to accept herself the way she is. That means let her not feel bad because of her looks. This terrible middle class family women, what they do is they vent out poison. In fact, they have a gas chamber of poison of causing enormous levels of distress, disharmony, and a complete attack of self-esteem on every girl that is growing in a middle class family. What do? Save yourself from these kinds of women, especially train them also. These women, what they do, I'll tell you. They go up and they compare the daughters who are growing up in their home with the neighbor's daughters. If the neighbor's daughter is having a fair skin complexion, and if your daughter in your family is having a black complexion, then this sick middle class grannies, yes, they are sick middle class grannies and sick middle class housewives, they tend to draw a completely, I'm getting angry, I'm controlling these words because I want to maintain the decorum. I won't say an anger out of control, but it is a well exercised anger. What should you be against these women who are looking down upon their own daughter and telling that your skin complexion is black? Look at that neighboring daughter. She is good looking. She is going to get a nice husband. For you, we have to spend a lot of money because we will not get a husband otherwise. Unfortunately, this is the living reality in a lot of homes. Let me ask all those terrible housewives who are making their own daughters look and feel insignificant within themselves and attacking their self-esteem, attacking their moral, attacking their self-worthiness. From where did she come? When you are talking about her skin complexion, what is your skin complexion? Is this the way in which you have to draw a narrative in home? First thing, start healing yourself. You need healing. From when you know that you are sick, the first thing that you have to do is get yourself cured. What is the cure? Accept yourself. Accept the reality. And do not feel low, because this is the same thing that the elderly woman in your home might have done. The same thing you're doing it to your children. Do not do this. The next thing, especially in India, when the girl reaches her puberty, you do not allow her to even go out as if it is some terrible thing that has happened to her. You know the kind of self-esteem it's very painful, it's really painful. The attack on self-esteem is so, the way in which I have seen women open up in my sessions and they feel very, very low, especially in groups. They feel very low while speaking to others, and when they are getting into deep self-introspective immersive session, there's an emergence of clarity, and they are always able to understand and recall that they've been made to sit in a corner when their puberty has occurred to them. Such a beautiful happening in their life. In fact, the entire humanity has come only because of this. But now you want to consider it as a disgraceful event in a woman's life. And you are spreading the same falsehood into the woman. There was a time when there was an occult practices which were very dominant in this country, because of which people, infant children, women who have attained puberty or they are in their periods were not allowed at certain spaces. But that's a completely different thing. Today, no such thing happens. Today, we are filled in concrete jungles. It's completely a different world altogether. So you want to have the same old values, outdated values apply in today's woman's life and make her life miserable is completely uncalled for. This is the greatest sabotage that you're doing on your child. Please don't do this. In fact, tell her, let her be free at that time. Guide her. Do not shame her. Do not treat her like an untouchable during these times. And if you're a man in the family, make and ensure that if your wife is a housewife, tell her to treat your daughter with dignity. And even if you are a woman who is working, do not grip yourself, get yourself trapped in this old, chained, dogmatic belief system. The shackles of belief systems have completely ruptured self-esteem in a big way. You don't have to allow this to happen more. Then, the most important thing, there's a third very important thing I would like to bring into your notice. Let there be conscious expressions enabled in home. That means every day people should have the freedom to talk whatever they want to. Let your daughter talk to you freely. Let your mother talk to you freely. Let your wife talk to you freely. Come together as a family and talk. Now the bloody reason you have a family is because there is a support. You are denying each other the support completely. And if you see the mother is in watching some Netflix or some Amazon Prime, you have the father, watching and sending some emails. You have the daughter who is in a certain age, chatting with someone else. And there is a complete disconnection. You have a 3-bedroom apartments, 1 room for the wife, 1 room for the husband, 1 room for the daughter. Little small room for the God in the home. Very little space in the corner. What is it? Why do you need a family with so much of privacy? If you want privacy, better not have family. Family means no privacy. Family means everything sharing with one another. Family means there is no individual expression. There is a collective expression. There is completely a democratic value which everyone discusses, and they talk in a conscious way, in a sensible manner, in a dignified manner, and there is a certain format of living which is agreed. But today it is completely different. Either it is completely enforced and anybody who has got a little bit of independence want to completely run away. And that's exactly what's happening today. So save yourself from this trouble and do not get trapped in this kind of an ugly warfare. I don't know how much of this you might have written till now if you're listening. But one thing's for sure. Do not compare your girl child with your neighbor's daughter. If she is good looking, that's what you feel, and your daughter is not good looking according to you, introspect. Know that the reason why she is looking that way is you. Blame yourself then for. Don't blame your daughter. If at all you feel like blaming anybody for looks, blame yourself. Husband and wife, blame each other. Complain to each other. Look at the terrible mistakes you have done. And now, treat your daughter with even more respect and dignity. Because of you, she is facing that looks in the society. I would say, wake up. Wake up. It's time to wake up. Treat each other the way it is a very natural expression. Do not, sabotage each other's self-esteem. It's not required. Have profound relationships, because time is running, both for you and for your daughter. As she's growing, she's going to be independent and she's going to go away from you. And she's never going to come back because you're treating her very, very badly. This is happening big time. I am seeing this live with many, many independent women. And I don't have anything to blame these independent women because they feel suffocated in your presence. So many girls I know who have run away from their families. Let no other girl run away from their family. Being a parent, if your girl child has run away from the family, understand you are a complete failure. As a parent, you have failed to provide a nurturing ambience. Realize it. Don't blame your child. Start restructuring yourself. If you want harmonious relationship with your daughter, restructure the way in which you think. It's high time. Good day.